Hello everyone, this is 41 Solstice 25, aka Solstice. Or for those who want to be like more buddy personal or something, you can call me Soul or something. But yeah, we are back in my Ianite temple build world. It is taking a little more shape. I haven't touched it much since after I went off camera. But this is kinda what I started on since then. Looks alright. Let me tell you something. When you have your player head already kinda out, and then just sort of like spawn it back in, and see if it'll like get your newer skin, it sticks with the older skin. And I believe that's as long as the older of it is out. Like, let me just sort of demonstrate this a little better. Oh, now you're probably noticing something. What is this red on my arm? Well, Solstice Claus is coming to town, little boys and girls. Yeah. Santa Corpse. Yeah. Yeah, just because of that, I don't think I'm going to. Just because this is more of my signature skin, or more based on my signature skin, I don't think I'm gonna change this anyway. Like, it's just not necessary, not really needed with how my skin is currently of more of like a seasonal kind of thing. Like, we celebrate Christmas over here. I mean, like, I'm personally atheist, but I still like to celebrate Christmas. It's a fun holiday. And, like, a lot of my family is, like, Christian. And I really like what Christmas is about. It's about giving joy, free spirits, and, well, it's a really nice holiday if you think about it. It's the season for giving. And once in a while you get some really awesome presents too. But that's not the reason why I like it. If that was the reason why I like it, that's actually a little shameful. No, don't look at that arrow. Don't think about it. I kind of want to touch it up, but I don't want to do that. I know how I'll get. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. But yeah, this is kind of what I've thrown together since off camera. I've posted a picture of this to DeviantArt. As you can see, I moved the Ianite statue up here. That was to give us a little more of an idea as to what I'm actually throwing together here, and more envisionment of who would be right here or something. I have not decided much on walls yet. I'm only certain that I'm going to add like something here and maybe a bit more to this and make it a bit more of a wall, and maybe fill in some of this in between. Maybe like a slope kind of thing. I think that'd be pretty cool, like some kind of slope of sorts. I'm not sure for color though. I have not decided on that. Just like continue with this for a bit and then just like more about the wall than this. And I was thinking there would be like some things here. They'd be like purple and they would like come down and just like hold where like some water's coming out of, like a fountain for a grand entrance. I think that would be really awesome. Like I said, I have quite a few ideas for this. And I realized I probably should have moved these while I was off camera. with MC Edit. In fact, let me just quickly do that right now. Okay, as left off, and as I said I was going to do, I moved this all back here. Now, I did not forget to patch this up, although some of this actually does kind of need a little more patching up. Like, I realize that now because it's kind of uneven. That's something I didn't really think about as I did this, but whatever. It's not hard to patch it up. Now, if it was something like, I don't know, nether portals, just some huge array of nether portals, then it would be a little more annoying to figure out how to patch it up. Like, personally, I don't do too many, like, super crazy kinds of patch-up additions to things. Like, I don't go, like, super crazy with, like, command blocks, although I do know a decent amount about command blocks. Like, I've done, like, day, night setters, I've done, like, special spawn commands, like, I've summoned supercharged creepers before, I've summoned a bit of this, a bit of that. Yeah. So I have done something with command blocks before, but I I haven't gone like to the super crazy stuff. I've at least tried some of it. Like, I tried to figure it out. I've looked at the commands. I've seen it performed. I've seen how it's to be ideally written. But some of the proper formats and certain keywords and such to include as you have it typed out, some of that I don't exactly recall is the real thing. Other than that, I'm fairly decent at it, and I'd rather not just use /fill for this. Especially when I already figured out when I was helping a friend build something fairly recently, which I will actually post on YouTube as well. Like, I was trying to figure out how to do a long hallway with just like glowstone and carpet on top of that. Yeah, using the using tab for the hets for the locations when you're setting the carpet down while you're on top of glowstone, I found to be a little odd. But yeah, we can expect to see that video sometime pretty soon. Let's see, this is an exact alignment with this. Okay. What's this in alignment to? Oh, I think I got this right. No, wait, it's 1 over. So close. So close. But I do probably want that. Do I want that? I think maybe yes. Just maybe. Just maybe. Okay, that should be perfectly even with each other. I can leave this empty for now. Because if I want to add like a pond or something right here, I'm going to want it empty. Nope, don't look at it. I know what I want to do whenever I see it. Just don't look at it, or you will go for it. It's as simple as that. Just don't look at it. Just don't look at it. It'll be perfectly fine if you don't look. And I do kind of need to make these stairs wider. I realize that more than ever. Which is fine, it's perfectly fixable. It would actually be more annoying if it was with different kinds of stairs, actually. Because then you would have to be like, oh, better find another kind of crazy angle to work with this from. Better place about, I don't know, 3 more blocks. Yeah, this actually isn't too bad, probably because of my method of situating this stuff right here. And I think that's going off because of this, which is perfectly understandable. I have not decided on what I'm going to do underneath this yet. I figure this part won't be visible from this side. Like, I really want some wall or something here. But before I have a wall there, I should really expand on this, because ever since adding this part in, it's kind of made these stairs smaller, which isn't exactly ideal for going up. Like, if you're going to have a pretty big place with one hell of a grand entrance, you're going to want more space in your walkways. Otherwise, it's going to seem kind of small. Wait, I think I had it like this. And something else I should also consider doing is maybe from a certain elevation down, expand it a bit more. What's the bottom 3? Yeah, actually let's add one right here as well. Still not enough. There. 2 more at the bottom, and it's getting some curvature, which gives it a little more shape for what it's going to be. And I might make some of this move outward a bit, just a bit. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I usually try to come up with. To make sure my builds aren't like too plain and have a little something different. Like, even if I don't feel like making all of these crazy curved, at the very least I could make the edge more curved. And I can also add some interesting shapes to the walls or whatever. Which is a pretty good thing, actually. Keeps one thing from being too boring, but adds a little something to the next. Okay, so I'm going to add a bit more onto this off camera so I can decide how I'm going to do this a little better. Like, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I like to build with like music on. Something a lot of crazy different kinds actually. Let's see. But the one thing I don't listen to is metal when I do something like this. Oh, and rap. I don't really get into rap normally. Like, it's not that I hate rap, it's just I don't like where the more recent of the genre has been going. Like, I used to really get into like Eminem and stuff. Like when I was younger, like that was the that was the shit. I'm gonna say it. Move your mouth with the music. I think we all remember Slim Shady. Ah, those were some good days. Back when TV did not suck. Or at least to me it sucks today. Like, something about the programs I don't like. Not sure what it is about the programs I don't like, but I just don't like them. Like, older stuff on TV, just something about it I think builds more character. It feels like it feels like awesome. Let me tell you that. I feel like I might have even like missed something just as cool before my time of like experiencing television and music or something. Like some of these classics that shape up our standards. Just something about the some of the older stuff just makes things a little more cool actually. Like back then it was like considerably a norm. Then today we have all this crazy stuff and people act like it's a norm and I think that just kind of makes it boring. Because back then we were just sort of introducing some of those ideas. And then we also introduced like all kinds of stuff. Like it was basically my time that rap was really introduced, and people were like yo and hip and fly and stuff. Like I'm like actually pretty happy that I was part of that generation. I think that might have adds to what makes you like it because you witness these things like becoming a thing, but yeah. Like, I basically seen most of the stuff of today that's shown on television before it really became on there. Because that, like I said, it's basically society norms, I guess. It just removes some of the interest in it for, like, older individuals like myself. Like, say you're in your 20s or something. Like, you've had a childhood, likely. Oh man. I remember when it was just 151 Pokemon. I remember when they said it was just 150. Then Mewtwo was a thing. Ah, that was a great movie. And for those wondering, I mean the first Pokemon movie. You know, I think Ash actually died in that movie. That's another thing, like, television back then, in its own sense, it was actually a little darker in its own way. In the sense that they didn't baby it as much. Like, that's what I liked about the older Pokemon television. Like, it was actually a lot cooler. It just made things more real. Versus today's version where it's like eco-friendly and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, you got those eco-friendly people, but I don't think they're this kind of eco-friendly. Like they try to be of this kind of sorts, but they don't pull it off this well. I guess that's something that kind of bothers me. But anyways, I'm getting way off topic. Okay, checking back with you guys again. Thought I would show a bit more of what I did before I make the most ultimate dramatic change ever. As you can see, this is coming along quite nicely. Now, it isn't going to be simply this. In fact, I should have actually set this back even further yet. Like, I'm not kidding when I say I want quite the grand entrance. In fact, this is only part of that entrance. I still want some side doors going. Like, I want one at least around here from there. And so far, so good. This is taking shape, this is taking some lovely color. And before you start thinking this is too plain or something versus everything else, don't worry, that's going to be messed with eventually. Exactly how I'm going to mess with it, I'm not entirely sure yet, but it will be messed with. Like, I'm still in the process of designing a few things, for sure. And for those wondering what's with that, that's just so I can keep tabs on middle. Of, like, this kind of middle from side to side. Like, middle straight down from where the main spawn point is. Speaking of which, I forgot to set this. Okay, slash set world spawn. There. And it's looking very, very good right now. I would say I am quite satisfied with how this is turning out. Yeah. It's not a whole lot done, but it is without a doubt a pretty good start. Like, clearly the temple doesn't look like it's almost done, but it's without a doubt taking some shape. Set that down, set that up to 13. No, give it back. Oh. Yeah, this is really taking shape. It's looking really nice. I'm almost to the point where I can decide on how I want to situate a pond right here. Just test my mouse sensitivity. I want two things coming from right here and there to come down and help give some more shapes into the pond and make it a little more fancy. A little more, maybe like a fountain or something, but a little less dull as like a water coming straight up or something. That's just two done. Okay, so this is the next day, and I have found the time to do some recording with my voice as well as rather than just like a few like clip recordings of some of my progress. So yeah, I guess I'll get to this for a bit here. So yeah, I've added a bit of this and this in here just to make the front design a little different, a little more elaborate. There's gonna be a few spots I want to come out a bit more, but I'm not sure if that's gonna affect this yet or not. I'll figure that out as I go along. Now, I've also been adding like a bit of this here and there, and this is gonna come out just a little bit more, just to be like right on top of over this side of the wall, and I think it's basic. I'm not even so sure it's gonna be showing up on this side. Actually, I might just like go over some of this, Like, as I've said before, this is, I come up with the design as I go kind of build. So some of this stuff isn't exactly all figured out yet. So it's basically whatever I think goes well enough and isn't too hard to figure out how to do. And I was thinking I would maybe like put a different color right here and it'd be like separated by this to some extent. And there'd be like something like blocking the chances of like one color of connecting to the other or something. So have a little more sense to it rather than just like two colors meeting up. Like it's one thing if it's like a outline bit like right here, but it's another thing if it's like another fill color, just like meeting up to a fill color. In which case it seems a little more awkward to me. Like I feel like that needs like work and a little more thought than just toss it in there and say it's good. But yeah, as you've seen, I've done some works to this. I have made a quite lovely little pond up front and shop cave noises. Hmm. I wasn't sure about this at first, but after I added like a little more stuff here, I think it's looking alright. Like, most certainly, though, I'm going to have to add more lights to random places as I go later on. As to where that is that she'll get those lights, I'm not entirely sure yet. Just really depends on what I piece together as I go at this. Yeah, I tried to make this as more of a perfect circle as I can. I did not look at it, try to like come up with any form of an actualized circle reference. I just sort of make these as I go, really. I get ideas as to what would make it more circular, and I sort of try it on. As you can see, this actually turned out pretty good. It looks like an actual circle. In fact, that probably is an actual circle. I hope it is. If it is, then I did some good work. Now, as to what this is going to actually hold here, I haven't fully decided, but I have figured this is probably going to contain more end stone for sure. Just to, sort of give this build a little more end stone and maybe like have some kind of crazy design inside. Kind of like what I did here and what I did down there. It's just something I kind of enjoy to do, and I think it adds a little certain character and a little, maybe even culture, you could say, to it. Not, it's not like a real cultural design or something. Just makes it seem kind of like it. Like there's like some kind of like a unique style to go to some of these things. Or better, what else I could do is I could have one of these be like light and another of these be dark, and it'll help represent the balance factor. That's something else I could do. The balance factor. I incorporate the balance factor into this a little better, like more justice and such. That's something I haven't really thought about actually. It seems like something I should be doing and probably should have done sooner. In fact, why I haven't actually thought of anything of that sort yet is actually beyond me. Something else I could do is have scales like underneath those and continue on with the like light and dark or something, and just like bring more emphasis on the balance factor. Yeah, I think that might be really cool. Hmm. I am yet to add more walkway to this. I know I said I was going to do some inside first, outside last kind of stuff, but what I meant was I'm going to start with some of the inside bits to help shape up what is going to be the outside. But at the same time, I would also like to do a bit of using the outside to shape up the inside to some extent. Like, I do kind of want to use certain factors of the outside to help shape up the inside to make it seem like it has more reason for the way it is versus, oh, this was important, let's build around this. Like, to some extent, you do want to do that, but to another extent, you want to have it be sort of like, have sort of like a logical reasoning to it. Otherwise, like, people will know, like, why you actually built it the way it is. It's just, it looks better that way or something. Like, if you have like that little extra thought into it, like so, it'll make it come to life a little better. Sort of heading onto this at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what I really want to do with these sort of like sloped masses here. But I'm most certain that I definitely want to add this way with it. And if it was like more solid of block, that would be preferable. Like, you don't need it to be solid block, but like I said, it is preferable. If I'm not mistaken, that makes it slightly less laggy. I think I heard it was something like if you have more space, then it's more lag. I'm not fully sure. Like I said, I think that's what I heard. I kind of want to fill this in, but I'm not sure with what yet. Actually, let's just use this as a bit of a start for this. And like that, some of those lighting additions weren't fully necessary, but for some of these underparts, unless if I like fill them in, the lighting will be necessary. Okay, for now in wrapping up of this video, I have added a couple things here. First I'll show you what it was actually, where a decent amount of the time of me like cutting was that I filled in a vast amount of this. And yeah, that's where most of that time went to. And then I accidentally made a heart, I guess. But I'm not changing it because that looks cool. I used droppers here. They don't really do anything. I just sort of picked a certain angle and got this part of their texture going where it's like that on all sides. So that's what I did with that. And over some of these I put these iron trap doors. I think it looks pretty cool. These were originally note blocks here. I thought it looked alright, but then I was like, no, needs more purple. So I put magenta wool here. Don't you just love that logic? Just needs more purple, use magenta. Yeah. And then I was thinking this spot was a little too plain for what it's supposed to be. So I figured I should probably put some kind of design in this. I decided to use that design, but instead of using slime blocks, I decided to use daylight sensors, and when you right click on them, it switches to sort of like a night mode, which is actually it's unpowered to its max the more skylight it detects. And then when there's like no skylight at all detected, it outputs full signal strength. Like I recall putting a video up about that, I think. Like I was curious exactly what that was about, if it measured like darkness or like skylight. It measures skylight. Like you could set a light right on top of it, a light source, and it won't really do anything for this. So yeah, skylight. And with the night mode, I figured at certain locations would probably look a little better than others. I could suppose maybe I could do this now that I think about it. That'd be like the strings and the little platforms. Yeah, it actually looks a little better. Like it feels a little more of like a symbolic thing like this, but it looks more like a bounce scale that's supposed to be like so. So yeah, this is really shaping up. I haven't really done anything to these yet. I'm not sure what I want to do with those. I kind of want to focus a little bit more over here before I go playing around with that. And I might also fill in a bit more down there, or maybe make things a little more shapely. Oh, and before people start thinking things are going to get wicked ridiculous with this build, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to build that far. I just built it that far for personal reference of just in case I decide to use it that far. In case I want to use that kind of space. I might, but I don't know. Like, personally, I enjoy big projects. The bigger they are, the more fantastic you feel once it's done. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap this up for now. I'll have more on this later, just like before. I hope my building this is like brings some kind of creative juices and inspiration to some, and maybe even some who would be interested in giving me some ideas. Like, say, maybe what to do with this that I probably haven't listed off, which was basically what all ideas I actually had for this so far. So, yeah, I'm fine with hearing a few suggestions. I'm probably going to cut out some of this as well. Maybe like fill this in with some end stone, just to keep it a little more in touch with its ender, wherever it comes from. Its native homeland, its native end. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, and bye bye.